guys, welcome to the Rumble and Roar podcast. Today's topic is mental health, battlefield of the mind, anxiety, dark places. High functioning mental illness is a term to describe those living with mental illness that most people cannot even detect. We are not counselors, we are not doctors. We just like to share our opinions and give our input on it. We have a guest speaker who would like to share her experience with mental health today. Mental health could be so many masked ways. It could be in so many masked ways. It could be a person that is just lazy. Yeah. And you would think that they are lazy.
Right.
And they are not. They just really don't feel like doing anything. You know? Mm-hmm. That could be something, mental health.
So do we think that they're like, if you're, because we both deal with that, you know, mm-hmm. we have kids, we have teenagers. Mm-hmm. Do we think that they're going through some type of depression or, because I'm going to think it's lazy.
Well, you know, as parents, if you were to walk into your child's room and you see a mess, a total wreck, the first thing you're going to say is, get your butt up, clean this room. You're lazy. You're calling them lazy and you're not really knowing what they're feeling and what's really going on.
I'm going to say ass. Get your ass.
You're going to ask them to get
No, I'm saying get your ass.
Oh, that's what, okay. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
But anyway, so they know that room is dirty.
Right.
It takes effort to get up sometimes. When you have mental health and you're depressed, just to get out of the bed, it takes effort to do that. So when you see their room a total wreck, that's really exactly how they're feeling. They're feeling like the room, and the room looked like, fuck it, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's how they're feeling, like, I'm not going to do it.
That's a different aspect because I literally deal with this every day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have a teenage daughter, and I literally will open her door to go tell her something, and I just look around, and I'm like, oh, I know you fucking lying. Because there's stuff everywhere. I'm like, who raised you? I know I didn't raise you. But no, I know I didn't raise you like this. Like, we clean up, like, we don't clean up, you know how we used to clean up every Saturday or Sunday, whatever, but
yes.
When you heard that R&B music playing, you know it was time for you to get up and clean up. We don't do that, but I feel like, why is your room this dirty? You just cleaned it yesterday, because we just had the same conversation yesterday.
Well, you know, with mental health, sometimes they just don't want to do anything, like I was saying a moment ago. Okay. They don't want to do anything. They don't even want to, they might have good hygienes and bathe, but they might not feel like doing the hair. Okay. They might not feel like doing just nothing. And that's why it's like that.
But what part of mental health do you think that attributes to? Like, are they depressed, or is it an anxiety, or is it stress?
You know what? It could be a number of all of them.
Okay.
Or one of them. You know, we have a guest speaker. The guest speaker actually experienced this and that they go through it. So okay. Maybe we can ask them, you know, these questions that you're asking me, because I'm trying to, all I know is that if I see somebody that I feel like, or even if I ask them, you know, those commercials on TV when they say, hey, how you doing? I'm fine.
Right.
I'm fine. And they really aren't. Sometimes I can tell when they just robotically say, I'm fine. You know, you can't say you're fine every day, because everybody ain't fine every day.
That's true. And
then me being a nurturer, me being a person that love people and just want everybody to be okay, I would probably say, okay, it looks like on your face something's going on, and I would try to pull it out of them
all the time.
I used to tell you come in the morning, not every morning, because
like, you like you thinking about something.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I might be.
Yes, but I just feel that, and I'm not sure if this is just what I do. If I ask somebody if something going on with them and they don't want to talk to me about it, it's okay. I'll let them go, but I let them know that, look, I'm here with no judgment, and if you want to just some ears, or you just want to hear my opinion, please talk about it if it's too heavy weighted, or go to someone. Just don't hold it inside, because it builds, and we don't want that to turn into anything else. And I love you. I just feel that love conquers all. But with mental health, you can love somebody and things could still, they just won't pop out of it.
Yeah.
That's what I heard from certain people that I talked to, and the person that is going to be that is our guest today. So let's speak to our guest today, and actually you could just ask some of the questions that you asked me, because this person can actually give you a legit, correct opinion of her own, because she's going through it. Okay? So.
Okay, so you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll just kind of go from there.
Well, actually, our guest today really don't want to introduce herself. She really doesn't want to even just be exposed at all. She's
Right.
trying to help somebody.
Okay.
She is someone that knows a lot about mental health, because she suffers with it.
Okay.
So, you can actually help someone if you have the same shoes on, if you're walking the walk.
Yeah.
So we're not going to introduce her. However, this is a true factor. This is a true person who can give you true answers.
Yeah.
Her answers. And you know what? Maybe you guys are feeling the same exact way as she is. And we're going to, not just this week, the following week, we're going to do mental health as well. And anyone that's listening to this podcast and feel the same way and just can relate to what she's talking about. If you'd like to put some comments and or even ask questions and see if we could help, we would love to try.
And we're also going to post our email and information at the end of the show. So you guys can send an email also, and we'll try to get back to you that way. But we're going to have a part 2 to this particular topic as well, and hopefully we can address some of your questions then.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a question for our guest. I just want to know, when you feel down, why can't a lot of people don't want to go to counseling. They just don't want to go to counseling, and why is that? Why won't they go to counseling?
You feel like they are not going to help you.
But you also feel like you can't come and talk to your parent or someone that you know. So maybe talking to someone that you don't know is more helpful, but you just feel like because if you can't talk to people you know, but you can't talk to someone you don't know, like how can you be helped?
And then how do you feel like the counselor is not going to help you if you don't go to the counseling to give it a shot? Why don't you give it a shot and then say, okay? It's just like eating food. I always tell people that I love, look, especially my kids when they were growing up, don't say you don't like anything when you don't even know if you like it or not. Try it. Now, you said I don't like it because you tried it. That's okay. But
Right.
you can't say you don't like something if you don't try it. So how can you say that a counselor that you don't think that they're going to help?
Okay, 2 different questions.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, first off, I feel that, I can't speak for everybody, but for some people, it's like, it's a vulnerability thing. It's like you don't want to be a burden to your family. You don't want them to feel that they have to always be on P's and Q's, with you. But then it's like, you don't want this random stranger just trying to like come into your life and trying to fix things. When you don't know yourself, everything that's really wrong. Like, it's wrong, but you still, it's another part that you don't really understand that plays into why, like, it's just like, you don't, I don't know how to explain it. It's you want the help, and you feel that, you do have a feeling like maybe it could help, but then it's like, how can you fix something that's been broken for so long? How can you try to put something back together that's in a billion little tiny, microscopic pieces? How can you even do that?
But I guess the better question is how does it get to that point to where it's been happening for so long? And like even with my child, like I'll ask questions, but they'll just kind of be like, "Oh, it's nothing." So it's like, how does it even get to the point to where it's been going on for so long and no one knows about it? I would rather, if you feel like you can't talk to me as your parent, I would feel like, hey,
Go to someone.
go to talk.
Yes,
Yeah,
someone.
have a mentor.
Yeah,
or
because
something.
a lot of kids and no one likes to talk to their parents. That's a little stretch.
But I think
Not
about
just no
certain
one.
things though. You don't want to talk to your parents.
Right, right. And I shouldn't say no one because I told my mom everything.
Oh wow.
I'm like, I did. Well, no, not everything, but I'm the youngest. And I was like, Mom, such and such, and Mom, I was that one that will run to my mom. But the kids today, no, they do not do that. They hold a lot inside. And I think that's got a lot to do with it. They just don't feel that there is an outlet that, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I think it makes us as parents feel guilty. Not that you guys are trying to make us feel that way, but once we do find out that there's something happening, then it's like, why didn't I see that? Or what could I have done to prevent
It's probably the parents that are doing it.
Yeah, because
You know?
I feel
That's
like
what. Okay,
a
go
lot
ahead.
of kids can't go to their parents with a whole bunch of things that they're doing because parents, y'all like, I'm not saying you guys, but a lot of parents create spaces to where their child is going to feel judged, criticized. They feel like their parent is going to throw it back in their face, and they feel that their parent is going to try to make it seem like because I've given you such a good life that you should not feel like this. And it's like, it's not.
And that's why I said it might be the parent that is putting that anxiety in their child or making them depressed because their child is trying to live at a certain standard for that mother. They're trying to live for them instead of being themselves. And when they are themselves, it's like, you're not supporting me. If it's not something you want for you, if it's something you chose, then you're like, oh yeah, I'll back you in it. But if it's something I want, it's like, nah, you can't do that. And that really makes a child like, look.
And not even just that, it's emotionally, that emotional aspect as well. I feel like when you see how your parents view depression. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you see when people like if you're watching the news and they be like, oh, well, why didn't they do this and this and that? When they see like a person that has killed themselves or something, like when you see like your parents say that and you feel like that, it's like, well, let me not say that, because if they already feel like that about a random stranger, who knows what they're going to feel about as their child. And they're probably not even going to accept the fact that I am feeling like this because I am their child and because they have raised me. But it's just like, just because you've raised me doesn't mean I don't go through things just like y'all have been through things,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's a point where you don't want to tell your parents because you don't want to deal with, the whole problem with that. And then sometimes parents tell the whole family, and now your whole family knows your business. Why?
Yeah.
And so it's a privacy thing. And then you have, some people, and it's just, they don't really trust their parents.
Okay. What makes them get to that point? See, with me, to me, I just wonder. I always go back to the beginning. What made it happen? Mm-hmm. Just like with a gay guy or a lesbian girl or whatever, they said they were born that way. Mm-hmm. I believe that. Mm-hmm. I believe it. Mm-hmm. Do a person with mental health, are they born that way, or is it something that triggers them? I'm going to have to do a lot more research, and I probably should have done that before I even got on this podcast, but it is so much going on till I just wanted to talk freely and have people to ask us, and that way when they send it in, I can do more research and I can actually talk to other people and we can give them... Pardon?
And form a better opinion.
A better opinion, exactly.
I do want to piggyback off of what you were saying because, like when my daughter comes to me with stuff, mm-hmm. It's not like, I know when people tell the whole family, I will go to my sister because my sister is close to me and I know it's between me and her, but I just need a difference of opinion sometimes. So I don't necessarily tell everybody, but she feels like, oh, you told this person, you basically told everybody.
She doesn't want you to tell anyone.
Right, but to me, it's like I need to know as a parent, am I tripping?
Did you do something wrong? And even talking to another adult will make you, they can probably shine light on something that you are just you're blocking out.
Right.
That because it's your child, you're blocking that out. You're like, no, it couldn't be, but it could be. It could be you.
But it hurts them. What I'm learning is that it's really negative to you guys.
Well, then why don't they go to counseling?
No, because it's a privacy thing.
Okay.
If I, as a child, came to you by yourself, I only want your help. If I wanted everybody else's opinion, I could have went to them. We could have did this as a group session, but I didn't want that.
Okay.
And so the fact that, I told you this is between me and you, and then you did go, and I know it's because how y'all feel, and that's understandable, but we're like, we don't care who you told. You told one, you done told everybody now. And it's like,
I think that the way that we grew up in the it takes a village era. So it's like we included everybody. You got your aunts, you got your uncles, because everybody is included in raising a child. We all grew up together. Like now, the next generation, like, yeah, you have your cousins, but y'all didn't grow up how we grew up. Like everybody is gonna be at grandma's house for the summer.
Exactly.
It's just not the same.
I was just talking about that.
Yes. So it's just not the same. So we're just trying to get an understanding of how we can help. But I did, feel some type of way when you was just like, basically if I tell you, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So I definitely learned something today because
and it don't make you feel bad or nothing. This is just how we feel as kids, like in like a child, like not a child, but a teenager's eyes as when you're growing, it's kind of like you get older, like you can go through this phase when you're young and you tell your parents everything. Oh, I had this happened at school and this boy did this to me. When you're elementary school and then you get to middle school and it's like things happen. Like when you ask, one of y'all asked, how does it start, like with the billion pieces? How do you even start there?
Right.
It doesn't have to start at home for you to start keeping things to yourself. A lot of it, when you're like middle, like when a lot of it comes from school.
Pressure.
And people that you're dealing with, you know what I'm trying to say? And you don't want to go home and tell your mom, I done got into it with this girl, about this boy, because your mom is just going to think, boy problems, you don't need no boyfriend, you need to be doing all. No, you know what I'm trying to say? I'm dealing with it.
But it makes you, I'm not going to sit here and act like, things didn't happen back in the day when I was growing up. Of course, I think we, as a female, we all had our, and males too, we've had our females and male problems. We had our middle school fights. We had our high school issues. We've had issues. But I'm trying to see. Well, I guess that just depends on the person. I'm answering my questions as I think about them and talk about them. What makes a person get so depressed with them till they just feel like giving up and feel like doing nothing? Because I've gone through some things in my life that was just terrible to me. I mean, back when I was growing up, being dark, just dark skin. That somebody would give you a compliment and in the same breath they'll insult you.
Yes,
you pretty to be black.
There's been that light skin.
And it's like, oh my gosh, but certain things it'll stick with you and people say things and you'll think about it and it does make you it just makes it stays with you. I'm just trying to see how does it stay with you so bad to where you just letting it control your life.
Because it's not just one thing, it's an accumulation of
a lot of stuff,
things.
yes.
It could be things that happen at work, things that happen with your kids, and if you don't have kids, things that happen in school, things that happen with your family, with your boyfriend, with your friends, and all of it, and then it plays a part on your own mental, what I'm trying to say? How are you thinking about yourself? And then a lot of the times you can't control your thoughts. It don't matter. To me, you just cannot control a thought. You know what I'm trying to say? If you're thinking about something, you're thinking about it. And then you start to feel like it's you. Once you go through a lot of bad things, you feel like now it's me. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm the problem. And then when you start feeling like the problem, you don't want to voice to other people that you feel like it's you, because they're going to tell you it's not you, it's everybody else. But
do you think that has to do with a strength thing? Like when I say that, and it might sound funny, but and I might word it the wrong way, but I'm doing it the best way I know how. A strength thing. Like I took some stuff coming up, and it made me stronger.
We were stronger.
And you say something to me, it's like, oh, so you want to come at me like that? Even if I'm hurt, I'm going to use this and it's fuel. You just fed me because I'm going to make sure that this does not happen and stuff like that.
But you know what?
The people today, the kids, and I just think that when something is said, they take it and I don't know if they're strong. They're not strong enough to say, oh, okay.
It's not about strength.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
It's not about strength. It's the fact that, I don't know how to really put it in words, but it's like when you've gotten to that point to where you're just like, I'm over all of this, you have been strong enough to get to that point. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's not like you're not strong because you were strong enough to get to that point. You're strong enough to still be here even though you've been thinking about it for months at this point. Even though you've been thinking about, being over this and being off this earth, you're still strong enough to be here. So it's not about your strength. Okay. It's about, a lot of the times, who it's coming from, why it's said, and, all of that. And it's just like, and it's not like, oh, somebody can call me a bitch and I'm going to just be holding on to
crumble up and die about it.
When it's something as when you're getting bullied in school. And kids are telling you these things, and they're telling you, oh, you're worthless, you're not shit. Well, excuse my language, These are things that they say. You all of this, you stink. They post you on Instagram, they make spam pages, and they cyberbully you. Yes. And now you go to school, and school is one of those places, you're at home.
It's supposed to be a safe haven.
Right. Yeah, you're at home, but it's like when you go to school, of course you're going for education. But you also go to get away, to talk to your friends, to have fun. But when you're going to school and every time you walk through that door it's going to be hell, you don't want to do it. And you don't want to tell your mother because all your mom is going to do, go fight them. You stick up for yourself. But how can you stick up for yourself when you're going to get beat down by 5 people? And when those friends going to talk about you, now you're even more bullied because you tried to stick up and you got beat up. You know what I'm trying to say? Some cases. Yeah. But it's just like, then you deal with that and now you're going home feeling like this. And it's a part of you just really don't want to tell your parents about, a lot of the things that you're dealing with because you just feel like they won't believe you.
I don't think it's that we don't believe you. What I think the problem is today, there's just so many platforms that it can be introduced to.
Social media, cyberspace. Social media, oh my God.
Killed it because there was bullying. Like, I don't think I've ever personally been bullied, but there was bullying like when I was in school, but it was never to the, I can imagine because
they jump people a lot. Back in our day, when you fought, oh, you're going to fight now. And it's not going to be 5 or 6 people jumping in it because if that's the case, for every person, another person jumps in it. It's like, but the way, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, I just think that the access to information that they have, like, some, like she said, the cyberbullying, that is the biggest thing because, like, you can come to me and be like, oh, I'm being bullied. Like, oh, okay, somebody pushed you, somebody touched you because I'm at the school tomorrow. What we talking about?
These are people over the internet.
Yes, and they're posting it to everybody. They might have a video of you, or it's going out to the world at this point. So it's the magnitude.
I guess different. I'm just real old fashioned because I figure just stay off of social media. Don't be making no videos. Just don't do all of that stuff. And you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that somebody can make a video. They could be taking a video of you. Even like, let's say there's a fight, which nobody's fighting fair. There's gonna be somebody's jumping. Now it's videotaped. That person who videotaped it has posted it online. Now it's viral.
Okay. Yeah.
So the world has it. So it's like, oh my God, everybody just seen me get my ass whooped. Like
now you gotta go to school and people
exactly.
Now that with something like that, I can understand something like that. Now,
but little basic stuff like this happens to them every day.
Yes, all day, weekends, Christmas breaks, and it's worse when you go on breaks. Like when you go on summer breaks, spring breaks, that's when stuff.
How does things happen when you're on break and you're not even in school?
It's weird because it's like it shouldn't be as bad, but it's like now we have time to really be messy because we have time during school and on weekends, but we have other things to do. Our moms are making us do other things. We're sitting at home. we're talking about you. Now we're gonna, do things. Now we can really fight you. We can do everything we wanted to do. If we catch you somewhere, we're probably gonna boo you like we do in school and record it.
They have all these editing apps to where they can make it, the video that we took actually, yeah, we're gonna make it seem like it was some real monkey shit going on. Like,
that's too much energy. Ooh.
But we had it.
Yeah, they have the time and they have the energy.
And get it done in a hot second too.
The percentage. What is the percentage on? See, this kind of stuff. I just really want to know. I know that I'm not the only one that feel this way. A lot of people do. I just want it to be better, and I want there's not a fix for it, because mental health. I mean, people are on medication, people are counseling, people are going to the doctor, and I just feel love can conquer all, but love can't conquer. Well, it does, but in this situation, there are some that get so depressed and so the anxiety is so high and just so deep in dark places, and just a mental thing that they commit suicide.
That's true. That's true. And I definitely want to touch on the suicide. Is there anything else that you want to add to this? Or are you open to us bringing questions to you?
Well, I would like for you to stick around. I mean, because if we're gonna just try and talk a little bit about suicide, which that's
it's a heavy topic, but
it's very heavy.
It's a topic that needs to be talked about.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as suicide, 14.3% of all deaths are attributed to suicide, and this is worldwide. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. alone, which attributes to 1% of all death in the U.S. And I really didn't even realize that it was that serious until
you did your research.
Yeah, and it just made me so sad. But suicide is the second leading cause of death among people the ages 15 to 24. And it's, to me, that's the second leading cause of death between that age group. So it's like, what are you going through? I was 15. Like, I just...
Yes.
Like,
20,
I wasn't going through that.
Yeah, 17, I just didn't see anything, but we can't say that, and we don't want to downplay it and make someone feel some kind of way because they feel like, okay, it's enough, and they just want it out.
Right.
Because we will never know. We can never know. But that's just terrible.
Yes, that's a lot. So, we got about 44,000 Americans die by suicide every year. Every year. And 40% of people who, complete suicide have made an attempt before. So it's
Wait a minute. Who have completed the suicide?
Yes.
So they actually went through it.
Yes, 40% of people who have actually done it have already attempted it before.
So it didn't work the first time.
Right.
Or they were stopped, or anything, like something could have happened.
Right.
Or somebody came in.
Okay.
40%.
That's just crazy to me.
I just, and once I started doing the research,
it's terrible.
Yeah, and it dawned on me that I have encountered people, and I've been like, oh wow, like they really was showing me
signs.
Or they were talking to me about stuff, and I really should have picked up on it. Like, oh wow, maybe they need some type of assistance, but I just didn't pick up on it. Maybe.
Well, now that's me. I pick up on a lot when someone, that.
Yeah,
when
you read energy very well.
I'm there. As soon as you can walk in my door and I look at you, I actually can feel your energy. And and if I ask you something, your response will make me know, okay, wait a minute. And if you even sound like you're just say something that make me feel like you just, most people are not going to say anything as crazy as, I'm going to kill myself today.
Yeah.
But they will say something like, I am just sick. I'm so sick and tired of this. I'm just ready for this to be all over.
Or I'm just really tired today.
Yeah.
I'm just really tired today. But see, I always have some comeback with that. I do. I don't care I do. It doesn't care who it is. If you tell me I'm just tired today, I'm so fed up with all of this, I don't even want to go to work today. I will sit here and mentor and minister and do whatever it takes and let love conquer it, because it's like, look, If you are feeling that bad, that means you don't need to be going nowhere. Go and gather your thoughts and love yourself and pamper yourself. Go and take your mind, put your mind somewhere else. Because
that is easy for somebody who's not dealing with it, though. I don't mean to put you on.
No, please
but
jump in.
That's not easy because you can go for walks,
Mm-hmm.
you can exercise, you can travel, you can put your
That's
feelings
not
in
going
the
to
book.
change it.
Nothing is going to change what you're mentally dealing with.
Right, but I've been there.
Even if you try to swift your thoughts to another thing, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna lead back to.
It's not a light switch. You cannot turn it off and on. If we could, it'd be, wow. What would this world be if you can just turn your feelings off and on?
Right.
However, I know what you're talking about. You can't just say, okay, I want this over. It's just like being in love. A lot of people,
today.
huh?
And like I feel better today.
Yes, a lot of people don't want to, they want to, once they are done with somebody, it's like, I just don't want to think about them, but you can't help it. You keep thinking about them, you know, because it just don't turn off. And I've been there, what you were saying, I would exercise, I would do whatever, but I would still try to think of positive stuff, and I would keep on doing it. I would keep on because that's the only thing that I can, that I know to do. You can't just stop. If you stop, then your thoughts will bombard you and really get a hold of you.
But for a lot of people, you can say all of these positive things in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to make yourself feel all of these positive things.
Mm-hmm.
But when you aren't in that mentality,
Right.
you can't. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Like if I'm incredibly sad today, you know, and well, let me think of something positive. I can't even try to think of nothing positive because everything that I'm feeling and thinking is so negative. You can try, and maybe some days it'll work, but you know, it's still like, you can't say, oh, just think positive.
Right.
And try to put yourself, and it does work for a lot of people, but for some people that does not work.
I also think that this is a generational thing, which I think we're going to talk about, you know, at a later date as well, because generationally, the way that we were raised as women, so I can't even say men, the way that we were raised as women is that you got to pick yourself up and you got to get yourself together and you got to keep it fucking moving because, you know, like we have kids, like you can't let them see you feel any type of way. Like my son picks up on energy very quick.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh, you was sad.
Does.
And one day I picked him up and he was like, Miss Butchman was sad today. And I was like, what? I called her like immediately, like, what is going on? Because Jay just told me you was sad. He said it twice before I even called
I
him.
remember that day. And it was, I don't know if it was a parent or something had happened where my mom died. It was something.
Well, no, because you was closed when that happened.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what happened, but my baby was like, you was sad. And I was like, okay, well, let me call her. But I feel, and that's why I thank the Lord for him, because I think that he came here he has a reason in my heart. Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
When I'm feeling some way, like he picks me up and, you know, like I said, he just really picks up off energy. But I think that we were raised a little bit differently from how this new generation is raised.
And that's a part of probably why, leading back to like y'all first couple of questions, when y'all had asked like, why don't we really come and talk to y'all? Because since we see y'all are like these independent, you know, these strong women, we are feeling like, am I weak? You know, is something wrong with me? And if I come to her, then she's gonna feel like I'm weak. And you know what I'm trying to say? Like when you've seen like every woman in your family, you've never seen them down, you've never seen them cry, you've never seen them express any type of real sadness unless a tragedy has happened. It's like, okay, well, they're just gonna tell me to pick myself up and keep going. I mean, I can tell myself that, but
it's not even that. I feel like you should always be able to come to a parent or a mentor or somebody that you look up to, because again, we were just raised differently. We was raised, hey, this is your situation. You gotta eat it and you gotta come up out of it. That's how we were raised. I was actually talking I was talking to Lanoria about it earlier. Like my brothers were raised different from how me and my sister were raised. My brothers can get whatever they want, and we were raised, hey, you got to get it out the mud, and that's how it's gonna come. We'll save that for another day, but that's just what it is. That's just how we were raised, and we're trying to. It's not that we're not raising strong daughters. but we're trying to break that generational thing to, hey, you can't ask for help. Yeah, I want you to be like, hey, I can come to my mom for help. Like, I don't necessarily feel that way.
Right,
and I don't think that
fine.
my mom feels that way either. But
Yeah.
we're trying to try something different with our kids to where it's like, hey, if you need me, I want you to know I'm here.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why we're trying to understand the disconnect between us as parents and us versus our kids. I think that's, we're just trying to build a bridge. But again, you guys weren't, this generation just wasn't raised.
Right, because I just don't remember, and it could have been this much mental health
Because it was hidden.
because it was hidden.
It
You're
was,
right.
it was kept to
You're right.
itself. Yeah.
Nobody,
You're
because
right.
you were deemed crazy.
Yes.
You were
I-
a lunatic.
Yes.
Oh my
saying,
gosh,
if
you are so right.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
If you
yes.
think back on your
Yeah,
past
yeah.
about stuff,
That's
that
why
you
when
didn't
she
tell your
said that, I was
parents
like,
about,
you were right.
And
Because
that's why it's a
as soon as
Yeah.
somebody do something or whatever, it's like, she crazy, stay away from her.
Or,
Yeah.
or if they did come out and say, I am feeling this way and I want to, you know, probably do something to myself.
now the whole family knows.
Right. And
I
now
get it.
you're the crazy one out
I
of the
get
family.
it.
And, you know, and so it's like, that's probably where the disconnect comes from because it wasn't really talked about with y'all probably.
It wasn't.
Or, you know, you really didn't see it, or if you see it, that he crazy. And it wasn't like, it's not that he's crazy, he's going through something. And so that's probably why y'all have a disconnect, is because y'all's generation.
But some
is
people
not-
really do be crazy
Yeah,
because
like
they're
some
on
people.
some kind of drug
Yes,
or something's
yes.
altering their
But
minds.
sometimes there are certain types of mental health where you could think that somebody is on something, and they're probably just schizophrenic.
That
They're
is so-
probably, you know, they
Yes.
probably have things that's going on with them mentally that
Yes.
they're trying to control, but they can't. So now they're acting out.
But it's so much now than it
Because
was.
now we're more open to it. Now we're not going to sit here and just keep it and sweep it up under the rug. Why? Why?
Yeah,
Why do we
right.
have to keep doing that? It's not the 50s and 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s no more.
Okay.
We can talk about everything.
That's
now you
true.
have social media, like y'all said, and now we're able to have platforms to where if we can't talk to nobody in the world, we can make fake accounts and just use that as our diary and put our feelings out there. You know?
Yes.
So it's like that's probably
Yes. And mental health is the way people mask it sometimes, you know. You could be in the room and you could be the life of the party
Like you said,
And-
high functioning.
and high functioning, and nobody knows that you are so you're actually hurting on the inside.
But it's the same as like a functioning alcoholic or a functioning crackhead. Like they can come to different events and you like, yeah, that's my crackhead ass cousin. But and they're functioning at this event.
Right.
They can do that.
Holding a
That-
conversation,
Yes.
dancing,
Yes.
going to get another drink, chilling.
And when they
Yes,
leave,
yes.
they are this close to overdosing. And when they, do whatever it is that they do. And that's so crazy to me. Like that's really crazy. And it's very scary. But I think that the generational thing is that like I don't know how the women were raised in your family, but the women in my family was, listen, you got to go out here and get it for yourself. You can't rely on no man. This is what it is.
Right.
And whatever comes to you, you got to handle it and move on.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to teach our kids that it's okay for you to come to somebody. It's okay for you to do that, but it's hard for them because they also see us being very strong people. So I don't know how to balance that or say, other than telling them, hey, you can come to me, but that's just what parents say. So
Yes.
kids really don't, they're just not going to kind of connect to that, but that's what we're trying to do, but they can only go off what they see. They see us being very strong people, and they see us getting business done and moving on. Oh, this happened to you? Oh, okay, guess what?
And we're this close to cracking.
And they don't even know.
They don't even know.
They have no idea. Like when you go to bed, when I put my kids to bed, I might cry. I might cry my eyes out. But when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna be your mom. I'm gonna be the same mom I was when you went to sleep last night, and I'm trying not to let my energy just transfer to you because that energy vibe is very real.
It's very real.
So
It's important too.
This is a very big topic.
Yeah, but even like mothers that have mental health issues because of the things that are going on in their lives as well. Just like the children, they, because of school and all of that, mothers have it because of the husband, because of the children, and they're getting older. They're going through things within their bodies. There are things that are changing that they can't keep up with, and things that their children are actually feeling like, okay, you can do it, but they're telling you, look, I can't. I'm just gonna be honest. My son, I asked him to do something, or he was doing something with me. I can't verbatim know exactly what it was, but I remember saying, babe, I'm getting older. I can't do like I used to do. You putting a little bit too much on mama right now. And he really did look at me. He said, Mom, you're not. No, but you know what? I can actually relate. His exact words were, Mom, you can do this. I remember when such and such. I said, yeah, you remember. But right now, you got to understand, I'm getting older. I can't do it like the multitask, run a business, have my kids, do my husband, cook, clean, the whole kit and caboodle. Now it's like, look, you don't ask me to do two things. You don't wore me completely out.
Right.
And he's like, Mom, I don't see you as getting old. When he said that, if he was on this show right now, he'll tell you, I looked at him and I smiled and I said, I understand. And he looked at me and said, well, why do you understand? Or something like that. And he said, I said, I understand. And he said, why? And I said, I did my mother the exact. I said, if it wasn't verbatim, word for word, I said the same thing to my mom. My mother used to work with me in the daycare for a little while. And I was like, Mom, get that child, do this and do that. And come on, Mom, let's get over here and let's go outside and play this and that with the kids. And my mother was looking at me like, are you on crack? What is going on in your head? I am in my 70s and 60s. Well, not 70s. I'm in my 60s. I can't jump down there on that floor with them kids. You get down there with them. And I'm looking like, Mom, why don't you get down and do something? And she's looking, Nora, I can't do that kind of stuff like I used to. And I said, Mom, I don't see you not being able to. Why not? And so that's probably a little pressure. Well, I know it's pressure on me because when I'm doing stuff, I'm like, come on, guys, with my children. I'm like, y'all, I can't do like I used to. Y'all are putting too much on me. Or I'll get up one day and I'm like, look, I don't feel like doing too much of anything right now. Let me gather my thoughts and I need a day to myself. And they're like, Dad, Mom, what's wrong? I just need a day to myself. Can I be a human? You know?
No, we have to be the people that we looked up to and that we've been groomed and
showing them that we're so strong,
right?
And so when we do lack a little bit, they're on us. It's like, well, I can't understand that, and I guess that's not pretty much the same with school, but I'm just saying, parents and older people go through the same thing as the adolescents and the little kids. In school, it's always something that has to do with peer or someone else or whatever, but I guess I'm ignorant to this because I keep thinking that it's the strength of it. If you're strong enough to say, oh, I was about to shoot a bird, and that would have been very inappropriate, but I know that's terrible, isn't it? Oh my goodness. I'm just speaking the truth. But I will be like, shoot a bird and be like, done with it. It does hurt, even though it hurts, but I'll keep it moving because I have to. But these days, I just...
A lot of the times, like your analogies, I know these are just analogies, but a lot of your analogies, you're comparing that to a mental health. You wake up feeling like this. You go through your days feeling like this. You end your nights feeling like this. In your dreams, you probably feel like this.
Lord have mercy.
You know what I'm trying to say? So it's not like, oh, I don't have the strength. I have the strength to get up.
Right.
I have the strength to go to work. I have the strength to go to school.
To function.
Right, but it's just like you get tired. You don't want to do it anymore. I'm tired of trying to be strong. I'm tired of trying to always do this. I'm tired.
Right, and I get that, but I'm just saying, and I'm ignorant. I'm just ignorant, and people out there that's looking at me or feeling that you are ignorant. You are ignorant. You don't know. I just don't understand it because I'm not there, and I thank God I'm not there, and I sympathize with anyone that goes through it because that's got to be a terrible place to be.
Yeah.
And I just wish I could just and love everybody and make that go away. But it's a terrible thing to just wake up in the morning and you just cannot be happy because you're alive, because you got this heavy blanket of just darkness on you. And it's because of what somebody said. No, it's not always about.
It's about
a pile up.
Yes, it's about what people say, how people treat you, the things that people do to you. It's
Right.
everything. Your views on yourself, how people view you. It is everything.
Right.
Once you have gotten to that point where nobody likes me, everybody thinks I'm a certain way. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm obviously I didn't want to be a burden by saying anything, but if I do this, it'll probably be a less of a burden because you could just bear me and go about your business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I
You
do.
feel like this, and it's like you know that people love you, you know that people care for you, and so, but it's still, you can know that people love you, but you don't feel that.
Oh Lord.
You don't. It is a part of you that really makes you feel that they say that because it's who they are to you
Yeah.
or whatever
Mhm.
significance they have. But it's like a part of you feels like they're just lying. Like they're just saying this. You feel like nobody really likes you. But I can't speak for everybody.
Right.
You know, but a lot of times that's how you feel, and it's just like you don't want to voice that all the time because then people get upset. Well, how can you tell me how I'm feeling?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, but I don't feel that. You know.
You know what? I just I don't understand because I know I went through a lot. I went through a lot coming up, and I feel everything that you were saying. You know, that it's a pile up of things. It's a pile up of things, and I don't know why this is ignorant as I don't know what, that I just keep feeling like it's how strong you are.
Well, you're wrong. Well,
I am wrong. I'm not,
but,
and it's okay for me to be wrong. One thing I don't, you know how some people like, I wish I knew how. No, I don't want to wish how that feels. I don't wish that on anyone. I wish no one had that kind of thing. I know I do have a battlefield of the mind going on with a lot of things when I have so much, just things to do. But everything you just said about school and about things going on in school and people not liking you and
not even that, then your grades.
Yeah,
Come into play.
Yeah,
You know,
now that was a
right.
pressure thing, yeah. The grades is always a pressure thing, but no, I'm talking about the outside of that and other stuff, but that's a pile up. That's a part of the pile. But everything that you talked about, I went through it.
Yeah.
I did, but I took it. It hurt me. I went into okay, gosh, what is going on? But I had to get up the next day and keep it moving. Because
that's how we were groomed.
That's how we were groomed. So why can't people be groomed that way now?
We're bringing our kids out of that because I don't think that we should have been groomed that way. It worked out good for us.
You don't think that we should have been groomed that way?
I don't. Because
Why?
I think that women were groomed differently from how men were groomed. And so that's my problem. It's a men versus women thing. But even the way that women were groomed, we were groomed to, you don't need anybody. You got yourself and whatever you got into, you got to get yourself out of it. But
I feel you have to teach women to do that because
yes.
If you don't, they grow up talking about I got to get this man to help me or I got to get me a rich man. You be rich.
To an extent, we do need to groom our daughters that way, but we also need to realize that times have changed.
Absolutely. I cannot understand a millennial. When I tell you I try hard because I want to communicate with my children. I want to understand them. And I know we done got off topic and I done went to the left, but when I tell you,
it's not related.
Yeah, it is. You said it's a different time. It is because the things that I can't even understand.
We can't try because we were groomed differently. So to them,
because I try.
But to them, what one problem is, to us, we were like, that's not a problem.
Like mental health.
Yes.
As we speak, this. I went through everything she just talked about.
Yes,
everything.
People talk
Wait a
about
minute,
me in school,
and then some.
Yes, like
And then some.
school was the worst. Like
Oh my
it
gosh.
wasn't really bad, but well, to me. But now it's different because again, they
They got
all
the other
these
stuff.
platforms.
Yes, the other things.
And it's like, oh, well, I don't just have to tell one person at school and they tell somebody else. I can tell the whole world.
I just hope that the ones, well, no, because some adults are like this. Like on the commercial, they become adults and be this way. Lord, oh Lord. Because I was about to say, I just hope the teenagers or the adolescents, the middle schoolers and high school, if when they're like this, I hope that what happened to me would happen to them. Like, yeah, you're gonna go through it, but that stuff made me stronger.
It did.
Oh my gosh, tough skin.
Yes.
Say something now. Okay, say it.
It's not the same. I don't think that tough skin exists.
Say
But
it if you want to. You're gonna hear it.
I'm not gonna say it don't exist. I think it's different because again, they have all these platforms. They have all different types of things or ways to attack people, and we didn't have that. So it's just different, and we just have to realize that it's different.
Yes, it is. Well, you know what? I would like to thank our guests. I would like to thank you because you really made certain things clear, to me. And I'm learning. I am learning along with this, and I want to learn, and I want to do some more research. And our fans and our people out there, could you please email us and let us know what you think. If you have a question, because I hope that our guest will join us on the next podcast so she could answer questions the best that she could, if you have one, because you might be feeling the same way that she does. Is there something?
I mean, sometimes we just need other opinions. We just need different outlets for us to understand. It's different generations on the show, so there are, of course, different inputs, and we would love to get, your input to see what we need, further understanding or just a different direction that we can go, just any research that we can do, like should we do counseling with our kids? Like we both have kids that are millennials, like we're just trying to understand. So we are open to any type of input from you guys that you want to give, and I think we're going to do a part 2.
Yes.
To mental health, so it won't necessarily be the same 2 topics, but we're going to go a little bit deeper into mental health next week, and we hope that you guys will join us.
Until then, we will leave some information that we have for you, 1-800 numbers and counseling that you could,
Hopefully that you guys can benefit from. Like if anybody out there just needs any type of assistance, if you feel like you can't talk to anybody, we're gonna leave these numbers at the end of the show, like different hotlines that you can contact. And please use them. Like if you feel like you can't go to anybody that you're just really close to, just talk to somebody. And sometimes all you really need to do is just talk it out. So just give it a try. I know a lot of people are opposed to that, but just give it a try.
Yes. And again, feel the rumble and listen to the roar.
Bye, guys.